When getting ready to sell your home for the first time, the first expense that comes to mind for most people is the real estate agent's commission. If you plan to sell your house traditionally, this is definitely something you need to keep in mind. However, beyond agent commissions, there are several expenses to consider when you're planning to sell your home. Hey, I'm Matthias with Haven Real Estate Group here in Spokane, Washington, and today I want to give you the tools you need to understand how much it'll cost you to sell your home. According to DaveRamsey.com, the average cost to sell a house is nearly 15% of its sales price. Now, before you freak out, in this amount he's including agent commissions, home improvement, closing costs, and also moving fees. So in this scenario, if you sell a home for, say, $250,000, you might pay around $37,000 to cover all of those expenses. To plan your own home sale budget, you can download a copy of my budget guide that I've linked to in the description below. Okay, first up is the home inspection. Now you might be thinking, doesn't the buyer get the home inspection? Listen, spending the money to have a home inspection done at the beginning of the process can save a lot of time and hassle in negotiations later on. Even in a seller's market where you can expect multiple offers over the asking price, the inspection is a whole new negotiation with your buyers, and they have a lot more leverage since you sometimes lose money when you go back on market. One way to anticipate this is to have a home inspector come through and then go ahead and make any recommended repairs before your house even goes on the market. One thing to consider if this is something you'd like to do is that home sellers are required to provide a document to prospective buyers that discloses anything they know to be defective about the property. So if the home inspection reveals an issue, you do need to be committed to either addressing it prior to listing your home or disclosing the issue to your prospective buyers in the seller disclosure statement. In addition to any home repairs that might come up on the pre-inspection, you and your agent should decide on the appropriate level of upgrades or repairs you might want to make before going on the market. Sellers who want the most money should consider smart renovations and upgrades. Sellers that want the fastest sale with the least hassle should keep the upgrades to a minimum. The bare minimum, in my opinion, that's required is to address any deferred maintenance items and to deep clean the home. Now, I'm a big believer in renovation as an investment strategy, but I understand that home renovations are scary for many people. How do you know who to hire? How do you know if prospective buyers are going to like the things that you've done? What if you over-improve the property? Before taking on any big renovation projects, take a look at the market with your real estate agent. Check out the difference in sale prices for as-is homes that sold and homes that have been upgraded and kind of figure out where you are in that spectrum. If the price difference is there, you and your agent can decide what should be done to get your property to that level you want to be at. If this is something you decide not to do, having this conversation with your agent is still going to help you price your home appropriately, and you'll have a clear picture of what you're offering in the current market. If you want to take the guesswork out of renovations, there are companies I can connect you with that cover the cost of updates and get paid out of closing. Okay, next let's talk about home staging. There are two elements to consider when it comes to staging your home. The first element is to declutter and depersonalize the space. This creates a blank slate for your home stager to work from. The goal of all home staging is to help prospective buyers envision themselves living in your house. If your home is deeply personalized to you, buyers are going to feel like they're a guest in your home rather than easily seeing themselves living there. Costs to consider for this step are either renting a pod or short-term storage to hold items from your decluttering efforts, and also the cost of the home stager, which can range from a few $100s for a consultation up to a few $1,000s for complete home staging with furniture and decor items. All right, next let's talk about closing costs. The term closing costs can refer to two different things. One way this term is used refers to the costs a lender charges to a buyer when getting a home loan for their purchase. The other items that are included in the term closing costs are the costs of escrow, title insurance, and sales tax where you live. Your realtor should be able to provide you with a seller net sheet that will tell you how much these items are going to be. If you don't plan on working with a real estate agent, you can reach out to a local title company and they'll give you this information. I also want to remind you to not forget about taxes. When you sell a home for more than you paid for it, the IRS counts it as a capital gain, and you might need to report some of that income on your federal tax return. Now, there are some rules, of course, about this. At the time of writing this, a married couple filing jointly has an exception up to $500,000, but it's best to talk with your local tax expert before putting your home on the market, just to make sure you know what the tax implications are. Another thing to consider are moving and relocation costs. The cost of moving can vary widely based on how far you're moving, how well organized you are, and how much work you're willing to do yourself. I have moved many, many times in my life, and I find that the greatest determining factor in preventing unexpected costs is to just be super organized. Home Advisor estimates that the cost of professionally moving a 3-bedroom house locally is between $800 and $1,000. Keep in mind that the longer distance moves are going to cost more, and that movers are going to charge more to transport bulky items like a piano or a kid's swing set. In addition to the cost of moving your stuff, make sure you think about other costs when it comes to relocating. An example would be the timing of your move, which could influence if you're paying multiple mortgages or for a temporary rental. Utility bills, doubling up on utility bills, things like that. Work with your real estate agent to work out the timeline for moving so they can coordinate your closing in a way that works for you. Now, after listening to this long list, you might be wondering, how can I reduce costs? While it can be tempting to cut corners when all the numbers are assembled, make sure to weigh those costs against the potential loss on the final sale price of your home. For instance, if you save a few thousand by not making any home repairs, but end up having to give up 2 or 3 times that in a price reduction when you're negotiating the home inspection with the buyer, did you really save any money? DIY is your best friend if you want to minimize costs while maximizing your returns. From cleaning and packing all the way to upgrading a bathroom, there are many projects that you can save money on when you're willing to do the work yourself. If there's anything I can do to help you plan the sale of your home, don't hesitate to reach out to me.